It's the, what is it? Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Nikki, and today's video I'm going to be sharing our Walmart grocery haul that we just picked up, all the different foods that help us to stay on track with our journey. I got some different things today, so I'm excited to share those, and I'm just going to be walking through the WeightWatchers points and sharing the nutrition labels on the screen. If you enjoy this video or find it helpful, please go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. And let's jump right in with the produce. We actually didn't need too much produce today. We got a good amount from Sam's Club last time that we went, and it's kind of lasted us. So we didn't need too many things, but of course there are some specific things that I grabbed. Most of the produce that we get, or pretty much all of the produce, is 0 points on WeightWatchers, and same with the proteins. So for the produce I needed some mushrooms, which I just grabbed these to make a pasta with. I've got some reduced fat ricotta cheese that I want to mix with some red sauce and then make like a big batch of a pasta bake, but I usually like to add some type of veggies, so I was thinking zucchini and mushroom specifically. I don't know why, that's just what I was craving, that combination. So I got this pack of mushrooms. I don't know if I'll use the whole thing for the recipe, but if not, I usually just use the rest for eggs, or sometimes I'll make sauteed onions and mushrooms to put on burgers or sandwiches or stuff. So I'll definitely use these up, and they're 0 points. Then for that, I also got some zucchini, like I mentioned. Every time I share the zucchini, I keep saying that we will have some in our garden soon. We've got some flowering, and so hopefully within the next couple weeks, we've got our own zucchini, but until then, we grabbed some zucchini from the store. Also some bell peppers, which we use for like veggie mix and different recipes and stuff. I feel like bell peppers just go with so many things that it's nice to always have these on hand. And when I'm making a dish and I need to throw some type of vegetable in, usually a bell pepper will go with it. And that just helps to get a little bit more fiber and make the meal a little more filling. I grabbed some Cosmic Crisp apples, and these were massive today. I only got 4 of them. And honestly, I'm thinking I'm gonna have to like split them between days because these are some of the biggest apples I've ever seen. And I have one every single day after dinner. So I still have a couple left that are like half the size of this from Sam's Club, but these ones will probably be used more for like apple nachos when I want more of a like filling dessert, but I'm definitely gonna just have them after dinner. They're 0 points and they help to satisfy my sweet tooth. They did have a lot of Honey Crisp, and I don't know when I'm gonna start getting those again because they have just not been good lately. That's why I made the switch to Cosmic Crisp apples, but I do miss Honey Crisp sometimes, and I'm hoping they get back to normal. So I saw them today and I thought about getting them, but then I just grabbed the Honey Crisp and we'll just see how it goes. Also, lately grapes have not been the best, but today they looked so good. So I grabbed a bag of red grapes, which I just love to have these with snack plates. One of my favorite combos is actually cheese and grapes, so I'll just show these really quickly. I got some Baby Bell semi-soft cheeses like this. This is the light or reduced fat version. So for one of them, it's 50 calories, 3 grams of fat, and 5 grams of protein, and they're 2 points each. And I really like to make snack plates with these 2 things, and then maybe I'll have like some cucumbers or pickles or tuna, some other chips or something, and just this combination is my favorite. So I got some grapes for that. Also, I feel like I always have a hard time finding the Grillo's pickles at Walmart, but I got them today. They had the pickle chips, which are my favorite. So I like these because they're my favorite to snack on. Sometimes I'll even put tuna on them and make them like little crackers, or I also like to use them for sandwiches, burgers, bowls, wraps, all of that. 0 points, and I just love the fresh ones like this. I used to always buy the jarred ones that aren't refrigerated, but the difference between these and those, I just always love these. I crave these all the time, and they're just so refreshing and crisp. I love them with tuna. Sometimes I'll even chop them up and mix them into the tuna, but these are just my favorite pickles. I also needed some frozen fruit. So I haven't gotten this one before. It's a strawberry banana blend. Usually I like to do just frozen strawberries or like a mixed berry bag as the base of my yogurt bowls. I use the frozen fruit and I just microwave it until it gets soft. It kind of reminds me of like an ice cream sundae with like the strawberries they put on them, but I thought that this would be good with the bananas. I hope it is. If not, and I don't like it with like the yogurt bowl, then I can just use it for smoothies, but I'm gonna try it out as a base of my yogurt bowls. And then really quick, I'll just skip to the yogurt that I use. So I was actually excited. I've got some vanilla left in the fridge, but they did have one of my favorite flavors, which is the Dan & Light and Fit Toasted Marshmallow. These containers are 2 per container. They're 2 points on WeightWatchers. They've got 80 calories, 8 carbs, 7 grams of sugar, and 12 grams of protein. And this is just a hard flavor to find, but it goes really well with fruit and stuff. And a lot of the times I'll top it with some granola as well. So I got some of these, and then I did get a different flavor that I haven't tried before. I've been craving lemon, and I feel like it's partially just as summer comes, I start to crave more like refreshing lemon lemon stuff. So I grabbed these lemon meringue flavored Dan and Lighten Fits. I haven't tried it before. It does say limited edition, but I'm excited to see how this is. I feel like even with some like graham cracker, Teddy Grahams or something crumbled on top, that could be really good, but I'm gonna try it out. A couple other 0 point things. I just needed some canned veggies, so I wanted to grab some Rotel. I like to grab the mild. It's got diced tomatoes and green chilies. It's 0 points, and this is the stuff that I really like to use to make like a queso cheese dip, or sometimes if I'm just making like Spanish style rice, this is really easy to toss in and give it a lot of flavor. And then I also just needed some roasted diced tomatoes. So these are pretty similar, but without the green chilies. And again, they're just for different recipes. Sometimes I'll use them for like pasta sauce or something, but I feel like most of the time it's for like more of like Mexican style dishes that I like to use the fire roasted. Okay, Adam grabbed some cold brew. So I feel like it's been a while since he's gotten this, but this is just the regular unsweet cold brew, 0 points on WeightWatchers. It's 15 calories for the serving, and sometimes he'll just have it plain. Sometimes he'll add some protein shake or some skinny syrups to add some flavor. Even today he mixed some coffee with some chai to give it even more flavor, and that's one of his favorite things. So this just helps him when he wants some caffeine and he's craving coffee. And he always likes cold coffee. I have phases where I go through like hot coffee and cold coffee, but he usually prefers to do iced coffee every time. But for my iced coffees that I like to make, I really have been liking these Dunkin' cold brew concentrates. So this is French vanilla, and the reason I grabbed it today, it was actually on sale. I probably don't need it. I've still got 2 s'mores ones that I just picked up, but it's 0 points, and I just combine it with a Quest salted caramel protein shake and some ice, and it's got really good flavor. I actually think the French vanilla one mixed with the Quest tastes a lot like Starbucks. I like the s'mores one the most, and I also really like the pumpkin spice, but I feel like this one kind of makes it taste a lot like Starbucks, and I like it that way too. So it's been nice to just have a couple different options for flavorings, and if I want to, I can add skinny syrup, but usually the Quest salted caramel protein shake is so sweet that the combination of just the coffee with that with a little flavoring is perfect. We also grabbed some Fairlife milk. So this is our favorite milk option. It is their fat-free and it is lactose-free. For the serving of a cup, it's 2 points on WeightWatchers, but if you have 3/4 cup or less, it's only 1 point. So whenever I do like cereal or something, I'll just do the 3/4 cup serving. But for 1 cup, it's got 80 calories, 6 carbs, 6 grams of sugar, and 13 grams of protein. It's got a good amount of protein still. I like to use this for different baking things. Whenever I need milk for something, even if it's like mac and cheese, this is the milk that I use. I needed some more Taco Bell mild sauce, so this is 0 points. I like to use it for nachos and different recipes, or even if I make tacos, it's a nice option, especially when I want to do like copycat Taco Bell at home, which I was super excited about. So first thing, I got some taco seasoning. This is the same one I get every time, but whenever I buy ground meat, this is what I use to season it to make it taco seasoned, and then it tastes like Taco Bell because we love Taco Bell, so being able to make it at home in bigger portions and less points is really helpful, and this is one of those things that helps us to be able to do that. And I can link my copycat fast food recipes video in the description where I go through a bunch of different recipes that use these types of things to help me stay on track, but it really does help to have things that taste similar, and then I can add my own meat, I can add my own cheese, sour cream, using like lower point options and stuff. But this was something new I haven't seen before. So they've got a saucy Mexican style pizza cravings dip, which this will be so nice to just make copycat Mexican pizzas at home, and even like enchiladas and stuff like that. I feel like this sauce will be really good for. It's 0 points on WeightWatchers, just a tomato-based sauce, and it's 20 calories for 2 tablespoons and 4 carbs. I'm excited to try this out in some recipes, and again, have it as an option at home instead of going to Taco Bell. And then this is a little bit higher point. It's 3 points for 2 tablespoons, but this has been my favorite queso lately at home. Again, I just use it in moderation, and when I'm trying to make these meals at home as a copycat version, and it satisfies that craving, it's lower points, and still just helps me to achieve my goals. This is the medium. They also have a mild, but usually I'll just heat up the serving and drizzle it onto nachos or a Chipotle bowl or something like that. Or sometimes I'll make a big batch of this cheese with meat and Rotel and make a giant queso that is so good. So I grabbed a jar of this. Okay, this was random, but really quickly, it was just on clearance, so I grabbed them. They are Starbucks smooth caramel Nespresso pods. I sometimes, if I don't use the cold brew concentrate, I'll use espresso, and I just have an espresso machine that you put the pod in, kind of like a Keurig. So this is flavored smooth caramel blonde roast coffee. and I'll see how it is. It says you can just add it with ice, but I was just curious and it was on sale for $4, so that's why I tried it. Okay, moving on to a couple proteins. So I got some ground chicken today. I grabbed 2 pounds, which when we were over getting the ground chicken, actually I ran into a follower who came up to me. So thank you, Nicole, for saying something. It was really nice to meet you. That was really cool. And still, I always get so caught off guard, but it's always a really nice experience to get to interact with you guys. So anyway, just wanted to say that. Shout out to Nicole. But anyway, I grabbed my ground chicken, and this is 2 pounds here. It's 0 points on WeightWatchers now, and just a really nice ingredient to incorporate to make things more filling. It's 160 calories for 4 ounces, 9 grams of fat, and 22 grams of protein. And what I'll do is I'll probably cook this batch up. Actually, this is what I'll use for that ricotta bake that I was talking about. I'm gonna mix it with some ricotta cheese and some red sauce and make like a big pasta bake out of it. So I might even just use like 1 pound for that and then 1 pound for something else, which I could use it for like sesame noodles or something. But I still have 2 pounds of turkey in the fridge I'm gonna use up today. And for the turkey, that's what I'm gonna use the taco seasoning for. So I'll just make a big batch of taco meat with that. And then it's just cooked in the fridge and I can scoop it out to add it to different meals when I need to. The next protein that I grabbed, I got a good amount of some chicken breast. Now that it's warming up and I've been grilling outside, I'm in the mood to grill some chicken. I was actually watching one of my old videos and had grilled chicken in it, and it just reminded me of how much I used to do that and just prep it ahead of time. And having the chicken in the fridge was so nice. I always thought it would get dried out, but grilling it and using different like marinades and seasonings really does make a difference. I've got like 4 pounds or maybe almost 5 pounds, no, 4 pounds of chicken breast here. And I'm actually just gonna do 2 separate batches. So I got 2 seasonings. The first one is a sweet chili wing seasoning, which I'm just gonna marinate those in and then use it for maybe even different like fried rice bowls or something like that. I don't even know for sure what we'll do with the sweet chili. But then I also got a garlic parmesan marinade, which I'm going to do the other 2 pounds in, and then that will go with so many different things. If I wanna put it in like a pasta dish or even just make like a wrap with chicken, that'll be nice, or like a chicken sandwich. Those are the 2 seasonings I'm gonna try this time, and I'll just grill those up so we have them prepped in the fridge. Then I also grabbed some turkey pepperoni, which usually I get the Hormel brand. Today I just got the Great Value. It's 70 calories for 16 slices, or 2 points on WeightWatchers, 4 grams of fat, 1 carb, and 9 grams of protein. And we always just have a bag of this in the fridge. Whenever I make pizza, it's a nice topping, it's an easy topping, and it's usually what I'm craving when I want just like a classic pizza. So turkey pepperoni has been a good option because regular pepperoni honestly just gives me heartburn. It is a little bit higher in points, but for me this is just one of those swaps that works better for me, and it is a little bit lower point. Sometimes I'll even just do the 1 point serving for like 12 pieces of pepperoni or whatever, but this is the pepperoni I usually buy. Okay, a couple dairy items. So I needed some plain Greek yogurt, which is what I use for 2 ingredient dough, which I recently posted some cinnamon rolls into what I eat in a day, and I've been getting some questions for 2 ingredient dough recipes. So I'm thinking of putting a whole video together of all the different 2 ingredient dough recipes I've done throughout the years. And so if you guys want to see that, let me know in the comments. But this is always the Greek yogurt that I use. It's the Chobani plain, 0 points on WeightWatchers, 90 calories for the serving of 3/4 cup, and it's got 16 grams of protein in that serving. And it just depends what I'm making. Most of the time, like I said, I use it for 2 ingredient dough, but I also use it to make sauces sometimes, or even like a slaw for shrimp tacos or something. It's really nice to have this. If you add a lot of flavor to it and really kind of like spice it up, it does get rid of that sourness that Greek yogurt has. And I don't like to use it as like a 1-for-1 sour cream replacement or anything, but if you mix it into a sauce, it's usually really good, or even like chicken salad. I've gotten these before. They're cream cheese wedges, so pretty similar to Laughing Cow, but I like them a little bit more, and they are a little bit higher point. They're 2 points per wedge instead of 1, which isn't really a big deal. These are really good for bagels though, or if I'm making like a crab rangoon recipe, although I don't have any imitation crab, so probably won't be doing that. But for 1 wedge, it's 45 calories, 3.5 grams of fat, and 2 grams of protein. And today I got the onion and chive flavor, but they had a couple others, like a strawberry one and an everything bagel, I want to say. So these are a good option if you see them. I've only really seen them at Walmart. I like to have them. They have them on crackers here, but I like to use them for bagels usually. And usually I make 2 ingredient dough bagels for that. So then I got some reduced fat mozzarella cheese. It's just the Walmart Great Value brand. This is 70 calories for 1/4 cup. It's got 4 grams of fat, 3 carbs, and 8 grams of protein. And this is the cheese that I use for pretty much everything. I feel like out of all the different types types I buy of shredded, mozzarella just goes with everything well. So whether it's like eggs or on a pizza or pasta, it always works. And that's why I always just have a bag of light mozzarella in the fridge. Usually I get the Trader Joe's brand, but we didn't go to Trader Joe's today, so this is 3 points for the serving instead of 2. Still worth it, and it still works well to make meals lightened up. Okay, I grabbed some hummus. So I'm excited to try this out because recently we tried a boar's head pesto hummus, and it was my favorite hummus ever. I ate it so quickly, and I used it as a pasta sauce a few times. And so today I found this one, and I think Fresh Cravings, I don't know if it's like the Walmart brand or what. I feel like I usually just see it at Walmart, but it's Fresh Cravings sun-dried tomato and basil hummus, and I'm hoping it has the same amount of flavor as that basil pesto hummus I recently tried. I'm actually thinking of using it for pasta too, so we'll see how it is, but I'm hoping it's good. It's 2 points for the serving of 2 tablespoons, which the other one was 1. Not a big deal though. It's 70 calories for that serving, 4.5 grams of fat, 5 carbs, 1 gram of fiber, 1 gram of sugar, and 2 grams of protein. I grabbed these French fried onions, which are 1 point for the serving. Usually that's just the amount that I use because they add such good flavor to meals without needing too much. They're 40 calories for the serving of 1.5 tablespoons, 3 grams of fat, 4 carbs, and usually I like to use these whenever I do like a barbecue chicken recipe or barbecue pulled pork, but even recently Jimmy John's added this as an option to put on sandwiches. So even on like a turkey sandwich, just a sprinkle of these is so good. It adds a lot of flavor, and that's why I've just been grabbing a bag of these every time we go to the store. Actually, Trevor's been going through them pretty quickly because he makes a rice bowl every single day with veggies. He just uses a base of jasmine rice, then he chops up pepper and zucchini. He'll usually put like a little soy sauce, and then he's been loving these French fried onions on top because they give some extra flavor and crunch to the bowl. So I really like these, and it's just been like a staple in the pantry. I feel like I buy them every time now. We originally had gotten a big bag of them from Sam's Club, and I feel like that's what started it for us, and we've just been buying them since. Okay, I got these Joseph's flatbreads, which are 2 points for the whole thing. The serving size is for a half flatbread, but usually when I make them, I just make the whole thing. They're 60 calories for the half serving, 1.5 grams of fat, 8 carbs, 2 grams of fiber, and 6 grams of protein. And these are nice and soft today. I'm actually excited because I want to make some pocket flatbread things out of them, like the recent ones we tried from Starbucks. I feel like we could make them way more filling. We tried the falafel one and jalapeno chicken, so I'm gonna use these for those recipes. Maybe I'll just do a video on them if you guys want to see that. It pretty much was just like a lavash flatbread that they had like folded into a pocket, and then it had the filling. I can also tag the video where we tried those in the fast food video from Starbucks, but I'm excited to make my own version at home that's lightened up. And 2 points for the whole thing really isn't that bad. When you make like pizzas on them, it's a really filling meal, and they bake perfectly in the oven. Okay, I grabbed some pasta. So I just finished up my spaghetti, and then I also grabbed some angel hair. This is just the Barilla Protein Plus. It's 4 points for 2 ounces dry, 190 calories, 1 gram of fat. It's got 38 carbs, 5 grams of fiber, 2 grams of sugar, and 10 grams of protein in that serving. And I just use this pasta for so many different meals. I like to switch up the type of noodle that we use, and we've got some penne and rotini in there, so that's why I grabbed these different ones today. But I make pasta multiple times a week, so we go through it pretty quickly and are always needing to stock up. Then I also grabbed some Goodles, which I've really been enjoying as like a quick and easy option lately. Especially if I have a protein made, I can just make a box of these Goodles and then add like taco meat and some corn and tomatoes and make it taco pasta. Or we had pulled pork the other day, and I just made a box of this mac and cheese. We put the pulled pork on top, and it's still a little bit of a lower point option. Well, definitely a lower point option than if I went to like Noodles and Company and had the same thing. It just helps to satisfy that craving for mac and cheese because these are pretty cheesy. I got the Dreamy Creamy, which is mild cheddar mac with loads of cream cheese, and then the Chetty Mac, which is creamy cheddar and macaroni. So these are 260 calories. Well, actually, just kidding. These are different. So for this one, it's 260 calories, 3.5 grams of fat, 47 carbs, 7 grams of fiber, 5 grams of sugar, and 14 grams of protein. So it does have a good amount of protein and fiber, which is nice about it. Then this one is pretty much similar. It's got all the same for fiber and protein, but it's 270 calories and 5 grams of fat. And then I did get one more, so this is a little bit higher point, but satisfies my craving when I want something that's more like Velveeta mac and cheese. This one is 8 points for the serving of a cup prepared, 320 calories, 10 grams of fat, 45 carbs, 7 grams of fiber, 5 grams of sugar, and 16 grams of protein. protein, and it's 8 points for the serving, but a lot of the time Adam and I will split the box and it'll be like a 10 or 11 point serving. And then this one is 7 points for the serving, which there's 2.5 per box. So again, we'll usually split it and it'll be like 10 points for the whole thing of pasta. And then we usually just like to add, like I said, a 0 point protein or a low point protein and then some veggies to it. And it makes a really filling, satisfying meal that satisfies my constant craving for mac and cheese. Okay, we grabbed some of these caffeine drinks. So they only had 3 of this flavor left, which this has become my favorite. To me, it tastes like a watered down Mountain Dew, but it's only got 70 milligrams of caffeine, which is the perfect amount, especially for a taller can like this. I kind of like to just have something to sip on that tastes good and it's not over the top like 200 milligrams like an energy drink. So it's 5 calories, 0 points, and this is my favorite flavor. It's the citrus twist. And then I don't know why they don't have 4 packs of that one, but they do of the black raspberry and the blue raspberry. So Adam's also been liking these. He grabbed this one. These are the black raspberry flavor. So 0 points too. They have 70 milligrams of caffeine and they've just been a nice refreshing pick-me-up lately. Okay, and then the last things we've got some snacky stuff. So first of all, we got some Love Crunch. I feel like we grab this every time we go to the store if it has it. It's their dark chocolate peanut butter, our favorite flavor that they have. And this is such a good topping for yogurt bowls, or sometimes I just want like a small, sweet, crunchy thing and I'll just grab a handful of this. It's got 150 calories for a quarter cup and it's 4 points on Weight Watchers. 5 grams of fat, 18 carbs, 2 grams of fiber, 6 grams of sugar, and 4 grams of protein in that serving. And they have a couple other flavors, but we just always go back to the dark chocolate peanut butter. Then I also wanted some Love Corn. So this is just the big bag. Usually I like to get the mini bags off Amazon. I need to order some more, but it's 120 calories for the serving of 1 ounce of this. And that serving's 5 points on Weight Watchers, which usually I don't have that much. That's like a quarter of the bag. Usually their mini bags are like 2 points for the serving, but this is always a really nice snack for being on the go or when I go hiking or something, because I just like the taste and crunch of it and it's not too like heavy or anything. It's 120 calories for an ounce, 4 grams of fat, 20 carbs, 2 grams of fiber, and 2 grams of protein. So this is just the plain sea salt, which has actually been one of my favorites lately. I feel like I keep grabbing for this one out of like the variety pack we have, but I also really like the barbecue. Okay, these are the Pop Daddy birthday cake pretzels. They taste so good. To me, they just taste like white chocolate dipped pretzels, but it's just a coating on them. There's no chocolate, and they've got like a slight birthday cake flavor, but it's 130 calories for the serving of 30 sticks, 4.5 grams of fat, 20 carbs, 1 gram of fiber, 5 grams of sugar, and 2 grams of protein. And that serving is 3 points on Weight Watchers, although I think we checked it and the nutrition doesn't match up and it's like 5 points for the serving, but either way, it's worth it. I really like to use these for snack bowls, especially if it's like a sweet snack bowl with kettle corn or something. So this has just been one of those sweet, salty snacks I enjoy, and it's way more expensive when you buy them off Amazon, so usually I try to look for them at Walmart. They've got a few of their flavors. I got some Quest protein chips. These are the taco flavor. These are 3 points for the bag. They have 19 grams of protein, 140 calories, 5 grams of fat, 5 carbs, and a gram of fiber. And this is one of those things that I don't eat all the time, I don't buy all the time, but they're really nice when I'm having like a busier day or something and I'm struggling to hit my protein and I need something quick and easy. I'll usually have a bag of these with like a wrap or something, or sometimes even a bowl if I make a taco bowl. These are really good crushed up on top of them, or as a base of a bowl, or like nachos, they just get kind of soggy, but they're really good. They have a really good taco flavor to them, and I feel like I haven't had them in a while. Okay, the last thing that I got, I was excited to see Like Air at Walmart. I think that's the first time I've ever seen it there, and it was on an end cap. They had a few flavors, but they didn't have pancake, which I was upset about, but they did have classic, which is one of my favorite flavors of theirs. It's really just like buttery and kind of tastes like Pirate's Booty, but they're bigger puffs, and that's why I really like Air. For the serving of about 3 cups, it's 150 calories, 9 grams of fat, 16 carbs, 1 gram of fiber, 2 grams of sugar, and 2 grams of protein. And that serving's 5 points on Weight Watchers. Sometimes I'll just do like 1 cup for 2 points and mix it in with some Air Pop popcorn to make it more filling, because Air Pop popcorn is 0 points on Weight Watchers. But this is just one of my favorite salty snacks, especially the classic flavor. Okay, so that wraps up everything that we picked up from Walmart today. We really didn't need too much. I feel like I was grabbing so many snacks, I just kept seeing good things that I haven't seen in a while. So grab some of those to just have as nice lower point options. I always get asked how I manage like not over snacking and stuff, and I talk about snack mixes choices, but also just having options that I actually enjoy that are a little bit lightened up really makes it easier to stick to it, because even if I want to have a bigger portion, it's still usually less points than the other snacks I used to buy that were just way higher point for less. Anyway, it's nice to have those snack options. I feel good that we got the produce we needed and some proteins. I'm actually really excited to grill up some chicken this week and just have that as an option. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, please go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Bye.